out of your control, not possible. You can't have a baby, Abraham. You're too old. It's not going to rain, Elijah. You're in a drought. You can't take the throne, David. King Saul's chasing you. When it seems far away, that's okay. Just keep seeing it by faith. Believing when every circumstance says there's no way. Like with Elijah, that little cloud way off in the distance will suddenly turn into a downpour, an abundance of rain, and you will see what God promised. My nephew Matt is my brother Paul's son. When he was 12 years old, Matt started struggling with depression, lost interest in school, and wouldn't engage socially with other students or hardly even his own family. The depression became so bad that he had to drop out of school. This, of course, was breaking Paul's heart. Paul prayed, believed, quoted scriptures. Nothing improved. Year after year went by, no sign of change. Paul could have given up. Well, maybe it's not meant to be. But he did what I'm asking us to do. He kept seeing it from a distance. Looked far away from Matt to fulfill his destiny. That promise that, as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord, didn't seem possible at that point. Paul heard abundance, in effect, but there wasn't a cloud in the sky. Like Elijah, Paul kept looking. God, I don't see a sign, but I know you're working. You're doing things behind the scenes. He didn't have to have it right in front of him to believe. He believed from a distance when there were no clouds, no sign, nothing improving. When Jesus rose from the grave, he appeared to his disciples. Thomas wasn't there that day. Thomas said, I'm not going to believe unless I see Jesus up close, unless I feel the nail prints in his hand and see the scars on his side. Jesus appeared to him later, said, Thomas, you have believed because you have seen. But blessed are those who will believe and have not seen. Don't be a Thomas. I have to see it up close, Joel. When it's right here, then I'll believe. No.
Okay, are you ready? Okay, so describe a place you like to visit.
I like I like I like to visit a museum in Paris because it's like a quiet place, like a bubble, a personal bubble. So the purpose of my visits is to improve my skills into foreign cultures and populations. I like to have a long time for thinking about another subject of my daily routines and my problems.
Museum.
Of my daily routines and my problems. So I think it's a right way to have an open mind about the world and um, and um, and hearts. And it's like a means to gain intelligence and liberty um, in your speech, in your life. Uh, um, in Paris, it's very incredible because many museums are free, and it's very easy to go to the museum for to see go to the museum to see canvas and brushworks. So I am a fan of the art of Paris, and I am a fan of art. So I think it's a good blend.
Il reste une minute.
Okay, it's a good blend. And I like to visit this type of place with my friends and my loved ones because it's an opportunity to know the different mindset of my friends and to have a new to know and new point of view of my favorite artistic canvas. Um, for example, I know my favorite artist in a museum. It was an um, interactive message with the artist, and I talked to him, and it was very incredible. He's unknown to the public. He's very secret. His name is um, Situ, but his art is very magic, and I'm touched by this color and this shape. Um, I think it's very. I think the museum is little place of Paris. Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah. So let's listen to museum. Okay, museum.
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 Okay. Because I heard what the first time I didn't hear the noun, the museum. I heard you say your favorite place to visit is, and I just heard. Je ne sais pas ce que j'ai entendu, mais ce n'était pas museum. Mais quand tu as continué à parler, j'ai saisi que elle voulait dire museum, ok? C'est museum. Museum. C'est 3 syllabes au lieu de 2. C'est 3 syllabes. En français, c'est 2 syllabes. En anglais, c'est 3 syllabes. Okay, very good. And so do you think people travel more? Do you think people travel? You think because like les questions que j'ai proposées, c'est différent de ce que j'ai. Okay, so let me just reformulate the question. So, do you think people are willing to travel to another country just to visit a museum?
I think it's uh, for the working class. I think it's a good um, it's a good way for to travel in other country uh, of a different me.
Un peu different. Qu'est-ce que tu veux dire?
No, je crois que je suis perdu le truc. For working classes, it's an other way to have access of art and other country.
Ok. On dit accéder à.
Access to and other to and for West countries.
Foreign countries.
Countries because to travel is very expensive. Um, it's very expensive for majority part of the populations, and the museum is almost free for everyone. So I think it's not like travel because you have not the contact with the populations, you have not the language, you have not the opportunity to know to be to be 1 year in another country, and it's very different. But on the other hand, I think it's very interesting to be in a museum for to understand the mood of the country. It's not the same thing, but it's an alternative, I think.
Okay. Um, So you talked about travel being expensive. What do you think about digitizing museums to save costs and grant access to people who cannot afford to travel?
I think it's like a duty of public services to have many museums uh, to have many museums open for everyone and other classes like working classes. I think it's very important and essential because it's one of the most incredible values of the French, and I think it's like a reason why we uh, paid bills is to access of the culture and the educations, and the museum is a big part of the brain power of the citizens.
Okay. I understand that you didn't, I feel that you didn't understand the question.
Ah,
It's
mais
okay.
la question c'était pas genre qu'est-ce que tu penses sur le fait que genre les muséums ça coûte pas beaucoup, etc.
Ah, non. Ok.
Toi, pose tes questions.
Je suis juste en train d'expliquer, de tout expliquer. Dès les chambres. Oui, exactement. Tu as vu comment je me suis parlé maintenant, mais tu as entendu, tu as tout entendu. C'est comme ça que j'entends chaque fois que tu te parles. Ok, voilà. Digitize. Ah, je n'ai pas bien appelé, pardon, digitize.
Je comprends pas la question comme ça, je suis pas un peu.
Oui, j'ai constaté que tu n'as pas compris la question. Parce que tu as parlé de, you talked about travel being expensive. So what do you think about digitizing museums? Tu sais que le tourisme, c'est très important à Paris. Et si on, if we digitize, are people, is the government still going to make money? Like, these are the things you consider. Sorry, I'm starting to answer your question, but let me rephrase it. Let me explain the question again. To digitize, that means instead of you, comme maintenant, je ne suis pas chez toi, on est en ligne, ok? Toi, tu n'as pas utilisé le frais de transport pour venir me chercher. Moi, je n'ai pas utilisé le frais de transport pour aller te chercher. On n'est pas dans l'embouteillage, même s'il pleut, même si c'est minuit, on peut avoir les cours. Do you think that museums should be digitized? That means, est-ce que on peut mettre les museums sous forme digitale, en ligne, pour que la personne à Singapour peut regarder sans voyager? Your answer would be yes or no. No, because you know tourism is very important to France, very important to Paris, and if we put these things online, first of all, the government is not going to make as much money. Like our airlines will not make as much money, and our economy is not going to benefit from this initiative, this development, because the museums help to employ workers. The museums help to employ workers, and the people who, for example, the people who clean, the people who fix the lighting, the people who decorate, the people who do the scripting, these people are employed by the museums. Also, from the airport down to the museum, there are a lot of tourist attractions that people can enjoy. So it's not really just about visiting a museum and knowing what's in there. And also, there's an advantage when people are in the presence of the work of art, quand la personne est dans la présence de l'art. Tu vois, tu as parlé de canvas. When the people are in the presence of the work of art, the feeling is different and it's very inspiring and it's good for the mood. So I don't think that digitizing museums would be great for the economy or that it would be great for the tourists as well. Ok, so voici les points. J'ai dit ça juste pour vous donner quelques points. Et aussi tu as appris quelque chose d'autre, c'est bon. And also, si tu dis oui, si ta position c'est oui, il faut le faire. Yes, I think that we should digitize museums, because that way people can visit the museums anytime they want, especially in this day and age where we have virtual reality equipment. People can just sit in their houses and watch the museums in 3D forms. They can watch look at the work of art, and they can also read extensively about several um, pieces of art or pieces of history in the museums. For example, in museums nowadays, people can visit locations using the headgear for um, je sais pas, c'est alternative reality, virtual reality. Parce que moi, quand j'ai visité un musée en France, euh, on a mis quelque chose de headgear sur ma tête, mes oreilles, mes yeux, mes yeux, et je regardais, c'est une île, j'ai regardé l'île, et en fait, j'étais partout. Tu cliques sur quelque chose, tu entres, c'est comme si tu es là en réalité. So I think that digitizing is also going to provide an interesting experience for tourists, and it's also going to be beneficial. It is still going to be beneficial to the French economy, because there are also employment opportunities for people who create content online, and for the people who manage the website. So soit tu choisis oui ou non. Ce qui est important, c'est de penser quels sont les points importants. Et si tu as besoin du temps pour réfléchir, tu peux essayer. C'est mieux quand tu fais déjà de parler lentement. Comme ça, quand tu parles lentement, parce que moi, je suis quelqu'un qui parle très rapidement. Quand tu parles lentement, ça ne va pas être remarquable. On ne va pas remarquer, pardon, quand tu te ralentis pour réfléchir. Parce que dès le début, tu as déjà montré que je suis quelqu'un qui ne parle pas très rapidement. Okay, so you just keep it slow paced and easy like that. So now I'm going to ask another question. Je dis tout ça parce que tu n'as pas compris le mot digitize, okay? So I'm going to ask another question. What are the benefits of visiting new places?
I think the benefits of to visit new places is to discover new mood with new peoples. It's a mean to improve your home skills because you you have a global vision of the world and of the culture. It's very interesting to discover new things. Uh, I I believe that when it's always the same speech with the same people, it's very boring, and I am not a fan of the repetitions because I don't think it's a side the funniest of the life of the
Hmm?
life.
So repeat that again.
I am not fan of the repetition because for me it's not the funniest. Funniest.
Okay, okay.
J'essaye de faire ce que vous avez dit, c'est-à-dire de ne pas dire the more funny side,
Oui,
et du coup j'arrive pas à le dire.
oui, j'ai compris. Quand tu utilises funny comme ça, c'est la signification, c'est quelque chose qui est drôle, qui fait rire, qui fait rigoler.
Bah oui, c'est ça.
Ah oui? Okay, so I thought you were talking about quelque chose qui aide à se divertir, qui aide à s'amuser.
Ouais, genre pour moi l'idée c'était genre la répétition n'est pas genre la partie la plus drôle de la vie, genre.
Ah, okay. So I don't think that repetitions make life exciting. Or let's say I don't think that routines make life exciting. Tu connais le mot routine?
Oui, genre routine. Oui, en français c'est le mot.
Ok, oui. Consistently. repeating the same thing makes life exciting. Okay, so what are the benefits? La question c'était what are the benefits? Mais tu as répondu the benefits is, puisque c'est benefits au pluriel, tu vas dire the benefits are. Okay, so I'm going to ask you one more question. So, do you think that tourism negatively impacts the environment?
I think it's I think it's an I think the two waste is not a good point for the global warming because it's more consumption.
Je vais t'arrêter un peu. Qu'est-ce que tu viens de dire?
Je pense pas que le tourisme soit une bonne chose pour l'environnement parce que c'est plus de.
Ah, so say it again in English.
Okay. I don't think that tourism is a good. Je dis quoi? A good point because attends, en français c'était quoi? Je ne pense pas que le tourisme est une bonne chose. I don't think the tourism is a good point for the global warming.
Okay, so puisque la question c'était, do you think that tourism negatively impacts or affects the environment? Tu seras plus en sécurité si tu dis, I don't think that tourism negatively affects the environment. Parce que quand tu dis, I don't think that tourism is a good point for, ce n'est pas la question.
Okay.
So, il faut essayer. Si tu n'as pas bien compris la question ou si tu as raté quelques mots, tu peux demander à la personne de répéter la question. Comme ça, tu reformules le commencement de ta réponse. So, do you think that tourism negatively affects the environment? I don't think that tourism negatively affects the environment. And then you continue, okay? Et est-ce que tu peux prononcer tourism? Tourism. Oui, tourisme c'est français. Tourism, c'est l'anglais, ok? C'est comme P-O-U-R, pour. Mais P-O-U-R in French, c'est pour. T-O-U-R, tour. La tour Eiffel. Bon, en anglais, T-O-U-R-I-S-M, c'est tourism. So we're gonna say tourism. Juste au cas où, parce qu'on ne sait pas les questions qu'on va te poser, ok? Alright, so let's start again. Do you think that oh, c'est presque l'air. Do you think that tourism negatively affects the environment?
I think that tourism negatively affects the environment because it's not because it's not a good thing for the because it's not a good thing for the consumptions. The tourist is very curious and he buys anything. Okay, so he's not very quiet and he's very irresponsible for me. So on the other hand, the tourist is a economical way to have money and to allow for the consumption. Mais qu'est-ce que ça veut dire? Ah oui, mais c'est vrai que je fais toujours la faute, je sais plus ce que ça veut dire. Attends. Alors. Ok, alors, qu'est-ce que je te racontais?
You said that you don't think it's a good point for the conceptions.
Conception.
Do you mean consumption? Tu parles de consommation?
Oui, pas conception.
Okay. Consumption. Consumption. Okay. Consommation.
Do you understand environment past questions?
So, do you understand environment-based questions? Quand il te pose une question sur l'environnement, il faut réfléchir à la durabilité et c'est parce que tout ce qu'il veut entendre s'il pose des questions sur l'environnement, c'est l'eau, l'énergie, carbon dioxide emissions, par exemple. Pour le tourisme, people think that tourism isn't good for the environment because, you know, the airlines, they have to use diesel or fuel, and then there are carbon emissions. People think that it's not good for the environment because tourists like to travel, buy things in several packages that are not environment friendly, and then they contribute to waste. People think that it's not sustainable, it's not good for the environment because so many reasons. When they talk about environment, you know, I don't know if you really understand environment topics, but just in case, because dans la plupart des questions que j'ai vues, parfois ils parlent de l'environnement. Il faut penser à économiser économiser l'énergie, économiser, ils parlent juste de l'économie de l'eau, de l'énergie et la sécurité des océans, de la mer, sécurité des animaux, réduction de l'utilisation de plastique et tout ça. Alors, juste au cas où tu vois une question basée sur l'environnement, il faut penser aux arbres, au ciel, carbon dioxide, océan, animaux, énergie, ok? Just in case. Il ne s'agit pas de la dépense. Il ne s'agit pas de l'argent. Okay. You understand? Do you understand, or you want me to talk more about it? Maybe I can just send you a short summary. Environment and sustainability. Let me just give you a quick one. Just a quick one. Tu es pressé pour partir?
Non. Je mon truc est à 17h et je prends 1 heure pour y aller.
Okay, so maybe I should just send this to you via WhatsApp, or maybe we should just talk. Okay. Energy use. Tourism requires significant energy usage. WhatsApp, c'est mieux. Et je vais le faire rapidement. In case they ask you anything about environment, just show some care. This is going to be fast. Sending it to you really rapidly. All right. Do you want me to ask you one more question?
No.
Okay. So I don't want you to be worried or disturbed. I'm just sending you something via WhatsApp now. If you like Joyce Jonathan, you can listen. You can listen to anything else you want. And remember, tout le monde, pendant l'examen, ils vont parler l'anglais, mais ce n'est pas un concours. OK? Alright, si tu veux copier le chat, tu le fais. Remember, they ask you so many questions. Just try to... That's a very interesting question. Oh, I haven't thought about that before. Oh, it's hard to choose, but that's an excellent question. Let me gather my thoughts for a second. I think it depends. Okay, that's another thing I wrote. So remember, people, c'est people, ce n'est pas peoples. Personne, c'est singular. People, c'est le pluriel. Okay. Have a wonderful day, and I wish you all. Wait, am I the only one here? Okay, yeah, we just ended. Maybe I'm just forgetting.
Be an Elijah. Be a Paul. See it from a distance. Believe when it's far away, when there's no sign. It looks unlikely. That's what it takes to become a hero of fame. That's when you'll see God show out in your life and do more than you can imagine. Dad spent years struggling with that depression.